Dude, boom! 808. Oh, 850. Oh, 814.
That's not bad. So here we are checking the straightness of the head. It is so this is, it looks like 6/1000ths, and you just put a flat object, something you know is very flat, on the surface, and make sure you can't get that feeler gauge underneath of it. And according to factory specs, if I remember right, which I'm not positive on this, I think 7/1000ths is the maximum allowable warp that a head can have and still seal properly when it's torqued down. So this being 6/1000ths, if we can't get it through in any spots, then we know that the head is within factory spec for warp, and I can just bolt it back on and go, since the torching is not that bad or anything on it, and just do this final send with it, versus having to take it to a machine shop to have them tell me, oh, it's within spec, but we want to mill it for you anyway since it came through our shop, and then spending the money, having to disassemble the head, put it back together. I think that when the head gasket blew, it was simply a head bolt failure, allowing the head to lift on those cylinders, but I don't think that since there was no overheating issues, I don't think that the head was actually warped in the process of blowing the head gasket, even though it's aluminum head. Now, I could be wrong. I've done this method a few times just to see if it is, like if you have warpage going on or anything. Well, you gotta get, you're sitting up on here. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, you just want to make sure that that feeler gauge doesn't fit under there, and then I'll just send this bitch with ARP head studs really clamping her down. Alright, so the head checks out. It's within spec enough where I'm not worried about having it machined. Even if it does have a warp, it's very minimal. So, in the spirit of backyard mechanics and not giving a shit, I'm going to fully send this thing, and we're going to see what she does. Alright, so hard to tell, but I got both new axle seals in and a new input shaft seal. The old one was leaking, and since this sleeve for the throwout bearing is steel, it did rust some, so I just cleaned it up minimally and put a new seal in her, and this puppy is good to go now. Just need to clean everything up, and it'll be completely resealed, LX gear set and final drive, in a GT case from a 626 GT going into an 89 Ford Probe GT with an M-Factory helical LSD. So it's a Franken-Trans for sure, but it should get the job done for what I need. Alright, so it's officially all the way done. Got the retaining tabs for the 5th reverse gear nuts put on there, resealed the 5th reverse cluster cover, the case halves are sealed and torqued. I've got the new input shaft bearing in and output shaft bearings in, or axle seals as they are known. Got the new, well, not new, but good condition clutch fork, the new NSK throwout bearing, and this puppy is ready to go together. I've got to take these little rubber breather things off and throw them into these spots, and this thing is ready to go back in the car. So all these years later, we finally got around to taking apart the F2T engine that had the connecting rod thrown out of the block. Looks like it spun a bearing. The crankshaft didn't break though. Definitely blew a hole in the block though, as you can see, but honestly everything looks good other than the giant hole and the messed up crank. But here's the rod and piston. The skirt shattered, bunch of damage, bent the rod and blew the end of it up. Just completely destroyed it. The cylinder doesn't look terrible though. And here's the rod cap. That's what's left of that. So yeah, this thing took a pounding, but looks like everything else is in good shape on it though. It might even have a salvageable head. We're just about to take a look at that. Let's see what that looks like. Grody. She's grody, but I'm not seeing any serious damage.
Okay.
Yeah, valves look alright. Doesn't look like it, unless it bent this valve maybe just a little bit. Looks like there was a little content. But yeah, we'll see if it's stuck. You know, you've been doing this for entirely too long when you just have gear sets, built trannies, empty cases. Oh, there's a cylinder head. Oh, there's a block with rod out of it. Another cylinder head. Pistons and rods. Clutch, flywheel, valve cover. Oh, more trannies and engines. Oh, car on jack stands. Oh, car on jack stands. Oh, engine built on the stand. I haven't been doing this for a long ass time at all.